How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great. This is Karen. Hi.
Any chance you can provide some kind of an update on Terrell Jennings and if Ramondre would be in play on Thursday night?
Terrell's being evaluated, and we'll see where he is. Again, today's a walkthrough. We'll try to do our best with the injury report. We'll see what he's able to do. I would say the same with all those guys that weren't available for the game yesterday. I think that they're working extremely hard, and I think that they, we'll see what they can do at the walkthrough. They'll probably do a little bit more, and then we'll try to evaluate so that we can make some decisions for the game.
Mike Drake's only sacked once yesterday. I'm just wondering how you felt he managed those situations where he was pressured.
I thought well, and I think you see him pull through there with two hands on the football. And then complete a pass. I thought that was really cool. It was a big play for us, being able to take care of the football, but then also be able to extend and find and get a conversion for us. I think it always can be better, but I thought we gave ourselves a chance in protection, and there was a couple times where, the pressure got to us. So we'll keep working on it. We'll keep talking to Drake and then allowing him to extend, but also being smart when he does extend.
Those initial drives, offensive drives in the third quarter over the last 6 or 7 games, you guys have had pretty good success in each one of them. Are there any commonalities? Understanding that every game is different, but are there any commonalities where you guys are able to execute so successfully?
Yesterday is a little different just because the X play. I think just trying to get into a rhythm for us is probably always key. Just like a lot of offenses is trying to get into a rhythm and have a flow to you that allows you to, mix packages, mix plays, show looks, complement looks that you showed. So I think that's important, or just hit a big play that helps too.
How important is self-scouting at this point in the season, and is it harder when you've gone so long without a bye and obviously now on a short week?
I think we're always trying to figure out what other teams are looking at, seeing what works, and making sure that our players understand that, that there's going to be things that people are going to do. And when you see it on tape, it didn't take somebody to be that creative to say, hey, we should try this. So you have to learn from the things that you're seeing and be ready to anticipate things. You don't want to turn into a completely game plan and team and change things. You want to do things that your players are comfortable with and understand, but then know with that comes some things that you're going to have to defend based on the fact that you are in certain coverages or you're in certain play. You run certain plays offensively, which is fine. There has to be a good balance to that. You don't want to just make stuff up every week.
Mike, have you learned anything about the short week, either as a player or a coach, that kind of gives you an idea of what's best for your team? Or is each one different?
I think you just, instead of just running around here telling everybody it's Thursday, that's about it. It's about all you can do. And I've tried to do that to the best of my ability so far today. Just try to get physically recovered the best that we can. Tough game on the road, so we'll try to do that, and then just keep reminding everybody it's Thursday.
They believe it?
I don't know. You have to ask them.
Mike, I feel like we haven't talked too much about Patriots since the season started. I'm just curious what you see from his growth, and it appears like a real good physicality.
Well, I think he's comfortable. I think he's, again, been able to, been available, which is really important. Finding some ball production, breaking the passes up. They made a really good play on him yesterday in the end zone, which was, I was asking, hey, did he look back? Did he go with the wrong hand? Guys upstairs are like, no, he didn't look back, and it's perfect ball, and then beat him in the end zone. So, but I think you see him becoming more comfortable and willing to trigger and tackling in this league. So critical at the back end to eliminate those big plays in the running game or short passes, and they've done a good job of that.
With Kyle Williams, he mentioned after the game that he tries to prepare every week like he is a starter. I'm curious, is that something you've noticed from him during practice, just the way that he has been preparing this season?
I mean, I think so. I hope so. I mean, that's what we ask of all the players, and I think that Kyle's a good mixture of getting some reps with our offense and also working on the show team to be able to improve that way and work and develop. So anything that he can do and we can do to help him get ready for the game and gain confidence and those types of things, then I'm all for.
The onside kick there, was that perfectly executed with Diggs and in any way an adjustment to a couple weeks ago when another team got one on you?
Well, I mean, you have to determine what they're going to do, try to figure out what they're going to do, the different types of kicks and the locations. And you only have so many people to work with at the line of scrimmage where you can allocate bodies. So that was a huge recovery. Great play by a player that we trust, and we have to try to go and protect them. That's something that we always talk about. So try to get as many bodies as we can in front of them, and we didn't. It's hard to get them all blocked, especially with a good kick like that. And Diggsy went up and was able to secure it.
What do you like about Corey Jordan has brought the teams, has brought him in?
I think he's excited about playing. I think he brings a good size, good physicality, good energy. It seems like he's always, excited after every play or the plays that he's involved with. So I think he's one of those players that's like a lot of guys taking advantage of the opportunities that he's gotten and, was somewhere else and they made a decision. We were able to bring him in and quickly elevate him and bring him on, and he's done a good job.
What stood out to you about working with Matt Collins?
What's it like, or what's it mean? Well, I'm sorry. What did you?
What stood out to you about working with him?
So far from the time that I've met him till now. Oh, I think just Mac. I appreciate his professionalism. I think that don't judge a book by its cover. He walks around like Encino Man, but he's smart. He's easy to talk to. I enjoy our conversations. Great family. I was able to see his family yesterday after the game, so that was fun. I think he's a good leader. I think he does a lot of different things for us, and I like having him here.
Mike, are you a film on the plane guy? Does any of your routine change coming into a short week here?
We tried to move on to the Jets as quickly as possible. I think everybody was trying to move ahead as quickly as possible, whether that be some of the players or the coaches. So that was something that we did. And again, we're lucky to have a fantastic video staff, great department that works well with the coaches and provides us with everything that we need, and Teddy and Jared and his crew. And so just we're thankful that those guys are always ready to go.
Also, your game yesterday, 2 returns for touchdowns, but Justin only threw 11 passes, 54 yards. Are they doing something different with their run game? Is it more because of his mobility? Is it sort of feeding off of that?
I think it's probably just the way that the game was going and the way that their defense was playing. I'm sure they were just doing everything that they could to find a way to win the football game and what they felt like was best. And sometimes the games play out like that. It was raining. They're averaging over 5 yards a carry. There's a lot of explosive runs, whether that be with Brees or the quarterback. Obviously, the big play potential. So I'm not sure why they call what they call, but they made the one count, the 40-yarder to Hall, the screenplay. So those are all things that we'll have to try to defend and be able to tackle and certainly limit those space plays that Hall, when he gets into the second level, his speed, but also his ability to make people miss. And then, Justin, we have to make him try to get past his first read. I think the O-line's done a nice job. I think they've played physical. They get into the line of scrimmage. There's a lot of things. That group's been a consistent group since the start of the year. I think it's starting to show.
When it comes to game planning for that defense, how much do you have to take into account two moves that they made pre-deadline because I guess there's so little film now post.
Yeah, I think there's still going to be a 3 technique where Williams was, and there's still going to be a corner out there where Sauce was. I hope there's not. I hope there's only 9, but I don't think there's going to be. And again, they've done a nice job all year of mixing man and zone really well. And so then I think, being able to mix some pressure like they do, backers are fast. They all run. They're good edge players. I've studied their edge players when they were coming out, and it's about what I thought that they would be. Very active, long, fast, ability to affect the quarterback in the middle of the pocket. And so we'll have to block the front and make sure that the backers are covered up, or we'll have a tough time, running the football.
Deion Henderson's 2 big runs yesterday for touchdowns. What did you see from the group in terms of run blocking on those runs?
We got him to the second level. Mac blocked the safety, and we ran away from the post safety. And then I thought we were able to get him to the edge. I thought that Hoop and Will did a good job of getting the edge, and then Tonga was able to get out on the safety, and Travion did everything else. So it's tough sledding a lot of those runs, but again, if you're able to stick with it and you're able to break a couple, that helps.
When defenders are playing off coverage, especially on the outside, where's the line between wanting to just keep everything in front of you versus also trying to be disruptive at the catch point?
I think a lot of it is based on game situation, down and distance, coverage. We want to challenge. Sometimes if you're in a different coverage or at the end of the game, where I think maybe sometimes that plays into it. So I think there's a fine balance of that, and then being on the same level, playing man, making sure that we don't get picked. All those things are things that we're trying to talk about. And there's a concept to every coverage. There has to be something that you are going to have to be okay with. And if it's a 5-yard route and some sort of cover 2, then we have to be able to vice and vice tackle and understand that we're going to have to be okay with that. Other coverages that you're not, and things that everybody has to be prepared for when we play certain coverages. And so being able to challenge at the right times, certainly third down. And then other times where we're going to have to maybe play, a little off because there is a communication or there's a read sort of coverage based on what the route progression is.
Thank you.